Hey guys, welcome back to Sad Dad. My name's Dave Abkary and I am a comedian out of Fresno, California, and this is a podcast where I sit down with my fellow funny friends, my fellow comedians, and we talk about dads. Hi, how are ya? How's your week been? I had a really fun week in comedy this week. I had kind of a rough week last week. I was feeling real down about everything, and then just met some cool people and hung out with some cool people and did some fun shows. And I'm feeling really good this week. I'm bright and cheery. It's nice. And I say it was like a good week in comedy. Because it kind of ran like the full spectrum of shows, you know. I mean, like Saturday's show. Our Saturday show at DeChico's in Old Town Clovis was so much fun. It was just a super hot room. I had an amazing set. Everybody had a great set that night, and it felt really good. Sunday was a little bit rougher, but it was okay. Our Monday show was okay. So if you don't live in the Fresno Clovis area, I think I talked about this last year too. There's this festival that happens in downtown Old Town Clovis called Big Hat Days, where it's this big street festival and everybody comes out wearing like their biggest cowboy hat because it's this festival. The Big Hat Days precedes the Clovis Rodeo, which is one of the bigger rodeo events on the West Coast. And so there's this Big Hat Days. It's this big festival that happens in the weekend. It was happening like our venue, DeChico's Old Town Clovis, is right in the middle of where this street festival happens. And so it was there were just so many people, and our Saturday show, the turnout was amazing. Our Sunday show, though, was really light, but it was still fun. Our Monday show, everybody was just burnt out from the weekend, and I think we had a bunch of comics show up, but I don't think we had any audience members. But man, those shows are the best. Like it's not ideal. Like ideally, you want like a bunch of normal people, normal audience members in the room watching, the comedy show. But when it's just comics and you can just get weird because you can do bits, but we've all heard each other's bits a million times. So it's just, every comic on that show just went to weird places and it was so much fun. That Monday show was like a guilty pleasure. Like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the ideal outcome for the night. But man, it was fun. And then our show last night was great. Our Tuesday show was great. It was a lighter turnout, but it was a super hot crowd, super fun. Oh my God. So you've met him before. He's been on the show before. He's my co-producer on all the comedy shows we run here in the Fresno Clovis area. Danny Minch. Danny Minch got in with this like retirement home, and they do like a monthly comedy show at this retirement home. And Danny headlined it the first time. It's just 30 minutes of comedy. Like it's 30 minutes of comedy in this like living room setup of this like old folks home. And Danny did it the first time. I remember seeing him like right after he did it. And it's like at 3:30 in the afternoon. Like it's not like it's a nighttime show or anything. His sun is out. The gardeners are outside with leaf blowers. Like it's broad daylight. Not a time of day that comedy should ever be performed. But Danny's is like, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare show. Nobody laughs. And I think this is the third month in a row he's been doing it. And he was like, Dave, it's your turn. You have to do this show, and it pays really well. That's the catch. That's the hook. And so he's like, Dave, you got to go in, do 20 minutes of clean comedy for these old folks, and they'll pay you really well. And I said, all right. And so I did it, and it was not great. It was tough. A couple of the old guys fell asleep during my set. I said something that got one lady in a wheelchair all huffy, and she rolled out of the room. And but there were a few like older gals in the front row that were just really into everything I was saying up there. And I got a few laughs from a few of the old folks in the room, and it was not ideal, but I was like, I've done worse. Like I've done worse venues than this. I've done worse shows. It actually wasn't too bad. I was super nervous about it. I was like, what kind of jokes do old people like? Do they even know what Uber is? what kind of jokes? I ended up spending like 2 hours that morning that I was supposed to do it, just watching old Don Rickles videos. I'm like, maybe I can channel some of this energy. But yeah, Don Rickles used to have a lot of jokes about the Jewish people. I was like, oh, some of this I don't think you can get away with today, Mr. Rickles. It was a different time. Oh boy. It was just a full gamut of like comedy shows this week. Some much better than others, but even on the rough shows, I'm okay. Like, ideally, every comic wants to just crush every time they get up there, but sometimes just being funny in like impossible situations feels pretty good too. Just being kind of funny in a really difficult room. That I chalk that up as a win, and I had that happened a lot this week, and I actually felt pretty good about it. Pretty good, pretty proud of myself as a performer. So yeah, that was this week, and then we have a new Wednesday show now at Full Circle Olympic in Tower District. If you're in the greater Fresno Clovis area, come out to that show. We did our first one last week, and it was so fun. All the comics showed up in force, really like promoted it. Crowd turned out, and they were a blast, and we learned a lot. We're doing our second one actually tonight, the day I'm recording this, and got a lot of ideas on how I want to do things differently. But I had an old buddy, friend of the show. He's been on before. Ashley Johnson came out and headlined that first one, and it was great. And Ashley's one of my Sad Dad All-Stars. He came out and did the live Sad Dad too. So it was a blast. It was a ton of fun. And then the rest of the week has been cool too. I had a weird situation yesterday though. I was out. It was kind of early. It was like 8:30 in the morning. Not super early, but 8:30. And I'm standing on my front porch, and I've been quitting smoking. I've been doing the vape thing instead. It's really helped a lot. And but I still like going out and like standing on the porch, like it's a cigarette. I kind of like those like quiet moments of just being outside and looking at the world. And so I still do that, but with a vape instead. And I'm standing out there, 8:30. As I'm standing out there, this giant moth, this huge moth, like lands on my table on my front porch, kind of near this planter, kind of tucked up close to this planter, and it's kind of like shaking, and I just was like, this is like a moment, look at him. He looks tired. Well, I'm like, why are you up so late? It's 8:30 in the morning, moth. You're a nighttime thing. And I picked it up. It was huge. It was probably like an inch and a half long, and maybe 2 inches long. I don't know. It was big. And I could see him. He was just kind of shaking, and I kind of like gave him a little like pep talk, like, hey, look, man, I know it's rough out there, but you just got to get back out there and like be like the best moth you can be. I was having like a real white girl with crystals moment, and I was holding him in the palm of my hand, and then I kind of like tossed him up in the air, and like as I tossed him, his wings caught. He started to fly. I could see him like glint against the sunlight. And right as I let him go, this fucking mockingbird just swooped out of the sky and ate him. I was like, oh no, he was trying to hide. He wasn't. He came to me for protection, and I just gave him some dumb pep talk and threw him to the wolves. I don't know. That happened yesterday. So yeah, but got a great show for you today. Actually, the comic I have on today as a guest actually came up with Ashley Johnson last week as his feature act. Her name is Kelsey Lane. Super talented, super funny, and I hadn't met her before. Ashley brought her up, but she's great. And we recorded this after one of our shows. Ashley and Kelsey, they came back to my place ahead of me because I had to break down the venue, and I got back, and they had already been doing a little bit of drinking, and I was like, well, I got to get caught up. So what I'm trying to say is we are very drunk for this episode. It's really fun. It gets super silly, and It's a blast. Actually, I really, really enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the silliness, but Kelsey's great. By the end of it, Kelsey's holding her liquor much better than I am. I may have gone too hard in the paint and trying to like catch up to where they were, but it's really silly. You can hear Ashley in the background as we're recording it. We're sitting in the kitchen recording, and he's sitting in the living room watching TV with headphones on and stuff. And you can hear him. You can actually hear. Ashley brought his dog up with him. Her name is Roxy. She's this cute little boxer, and you can actually hear like Roxy's like little claws on the laminate floor at a few points. So it's fun, and it gets super silly. We we're real sauced by the end of it, but it's a blast, and I think you guys are gonna like it. And if you don't, listen to a different episode, I guess. I don't know, but Kelsey's great. So guys, here we go. We're gonna jump right into it. Kelsey Lane.
It's just so funny to me.
Yeah, dogs are dumb. Right? Is that the moral of this story?
I think so.
Yeah. Pop on those headphones if you like.
Pop them on.
Get into the oh, sorry. Yeah, good looking out. That was my whiskey.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to knock it over. Can we turn that light on?
Yeah, the switch is right there.
I'm just like talking in the dark.
I was trying to set a mood. I walked in and the house was mostly dark, and I was like, well, that's how they like it.
That's how they like it.
I would turn the headphone volume up.
Ooh.
You shove it up your asshole?
I don't think that's the way.
Is it?
It is. It's what you do.
It's not very loud.
No.
If you go to the PlayStation settings, you might be able to do it there if you hit the PlayStation button. And then go up. And then go all the way to where the toolbox is.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, you might be able to try that. It might be the settings. Yeah, right there. Try that. I can't believe you're just drinking out of that bottle.
If you think I'm not a piece of trash, you'd be wrong.
I'm into it. It's so cool. I like that you're... I get you. I mean, I feel like you get me.
Yeah.
You were like, I think I have a pimple in my ear.
Yeah.
Literally the second thing you ever said to me. It's like, hi.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Kelsey. I think I have a pimple in my ear.
Would you like to take a closer look at this ear pimple?
Yes. Will you take a picture of it with your phone so that I can see it too? I think that was like the second thing.
I can't see it.
But you got it. It's the important thing.
Did he? Is it gone?
I think it's more,
I don't even know.
I don't know either. Do you feel like you obsessed over it for like 6 hours?
I know. I couldn't stop touching it.
You did touch it a lot.
I'm just glad I don't have a dick because I would be doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like constantly touching my own wiener.
What is a dick if not a giant
Ear pimple.
ear pimple? That's so silly. Can you hear yourself okay?
I can hear me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear you?
Yes, I
Can
hear
you
me.
hear the voice of God?
I hear the voice of God. I feel like I am filled with light.
I'm also filled with light.
That's
Wait,
great.
I feel like I should change my tampon now. Like right now.
Wait, you got the sport kind now.
It's true. I mean, it's like I'm not gonna die of toxic shock syndrome.
Right.
I like to really play with the rules. You
Yeah.
know, live on the edge.
You know, it's
Go,
funny.
if it takes 7 hours to die of toxic shock syndrome, I'm taking this off
You're
at
an-
the 7 hour mark.
You're an endurance athlete. I like that.
Out, not out, off.
Off. Take it off. I'm going to take off my tampon. What? Wait, hang on. I don't think that's off. Not out?
Not off.
Yeah, that's weird.
Out. It is the
man.
sports kind.
You're so funny. You had a great set tonight.
Thank you.
I think you think it didn't go as well as you think it did.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I think you
were-
thought about thinking.
You were like, I wish I did better for you. I'm sorry. And I was like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you did great.
Oh,
I just had a room that was 90% like 50 plus white males. That was.
They were into it though. They were getting
they
rowdy
liked-
with like sad boners.
They really did like you. It was the women were connecting with you so hard though.
Well,
You got an applause break over talking about raping dudes with strap-ons.
Yeah.
And like every woman in the room.
Yeah.
There were like 10 women that were just, yes.
well, there's this one older woman like in the front row.
Uh-huh.
And when I was doing like my Sasquatch joke, I was like, oh, it's tough to be a woman or whatever. She was just looking at me like, fucking make me laugh, bitch. Like, she was like, you need to, like, looking at me like, okay. You know, it was one of those things where she was trying to test out the waters.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm not sure if I like you yet. And I was like, by the end of this set, I will make this woman laugh.
Good
like,
for
it
you.
was, it
Yeah,
became
yeah,
a
yeah.
new goal.
Yeah.
Just to make that old woman laugh in the front row.
It's funny how you like focus on those people. Like, there's really two types of comedians. There's the type of comedian that focuses on the one guy that's really into them.
Right.
And then there's the other type of comedian that focuses on the one guy that's not into them. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen that. I'm more it's like a half full, half empty situation, I think.
Yeah.
But like, generally I'm like, well, this one guy likes me. I'm going to just tell all my jokes to that one guy.
Yeah. And then
But-
by the end, he's going to be like a super fan.
Uh-huh, right. But
Yeah.
you're the opposite. You're like, who hates me the most?
It's my upbringing.
That's so funny.
Going right for that one woman. The one who's unsure. I mean, it's probably, yeah, I don't even know what that means psychologically, but it's probably something.
Yeah. Something in there.
Yeah.
Something that you should probably talk to a therapist about. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
100%.
right. I have skipped 2 therapy sessions in the last
yeah?
2 weeks.
Good
so
for you, though.
She said I could make them up.
Well, sure. Yeah, make them up. I'm doing homework. Do you guys have like take-home sheets? Like, what do I work on? I don't know.
It's just like a piece of paper that's just like, be better, bitch. And I'm like, oh, that's, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're great. Where did you grow up? Where are you?
In Massachusetts. I grew up in San Jose until I was like 7 or 8, and then my parents moved us to Massachusetts.
Just San Jose all the way to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I think my parents were like looking for like a change,
Uh-huh.
and then like my mom was like working for like Jenny Craig, and then she just like looked up all the different Jenny Craigs in the United States, and she was like, let's go to the furthest away one
Whoa.
and start fresh.
Wow.
And then they had like both houses. Like they like bought a house there, and then they also had their house in San Jose that they were like renting out. And then I guess some people, like the people who were renting it, like just like stopped paying rent.
Oh.
So then they had to like sell that house,
Yeah.
and they got like
Okay.
they got like fucked financially or something. So they just could never come back. But I think there was like a backup plan. Like they were like, let's keep this house just in case it doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. And then that plan just got.
It just fell out.
It
fell apart. Huh?
Yeah, it queefed out. It queefed itself out of existence. That
Yeah.
doesn't even make sense, but
Sure.
you get it.
I feel like this has nothing to do with what you just said to me, but I feel like if somebody was like, if Glade introduced a candle that was just called Angel Queefs, I would buy it.
Honestly, like I would too. I feel like it would be like a hint of cinnamon for some reason. Like is that like I just smell like a little dash of sin.
Okay. So how,
Like it would smell like innocence. Like it's like
Yeah.
angel, but like queefing is like the dirtiest thing that an angel could do.
right. Yeah, because
So it
angels.
smells like the death of innocence.
Right, because I don't feel like angels would fart.
No.
But I feel like angels don't even have buttholes.
Yeah, no.
But they probably have a vagina
Yeah.
because you need the fun part.
Yeah.
And so you can queef out of a vagina.
Yeah. They have like the place that the butthole should be, but there is just a Hershey kiss.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, oh,
Oh.
that's so cute. Like
Yeah.
that's what a cherub would have.
Right.
Instead of a
right.
balloon knot, it's just a kiss. With caramel inside. The
Totally.
Hershey kiss with the caramel inside.
How old were you when you moved to Massachusetts?
I think I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, so you remember then. Like, you remember the difference between San Jose and... Was it hard for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it was hard.
You
Yeah.
think?
I think.
I mean,
I barely remember.
Okay.
But...
Did you like Massachusetts?
No.
No?
No, I don't think at first. I think
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you don't really like anything. You don't like or dislike anything. You're just like, life is like, just like you're riding on this tidal wave that is your life, and you're like, okay, this is what it is now. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you grew up out there. Like, you went to high school there and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Were you a good student?
Yeah, I was a pretty good student.
Were you?
Yeah, I went to Marshfield High.
Nashville.
In Marshfield, Massachusetts.
Park the car.
Yeah, Marsh Vegas
The
is what we
parking lot.
called.
In Nashville. Yeah. Did you have a big family? Did you have a lot of, like, brothers and sisters and all that fun stuff?
No, I have one older sister.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
That's cool.
For family. It was just the 4 of us out there because the rest of our extended family was in California.
Oh, okay.
So we would like come back and visit.
You said your mom worked for Jenny Craig.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It was weird.
What did she do for Jenny Craig?
I think she was like a manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like did they have stores? I thought it was just like frozen food. Like, what is Jenny? I guess I don't know.
I feel like I think they like weighed people and they were like, you're still fat, so you're gonna have to keep eating this food.
So it was like a Weight Watchers thing. Where, like,
I think so.
Women showed up and. Oh, okay.
I don't actually know much about it.
So
my
funny.
mom didn't even work there for very long. She like stopped working there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she just got another job. It was
they
weird.
moved all the way out to Massachusetts for this job, and
Yeah.
then she just quit.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, it was like, why are you moving out here? And I
yeah.
always thought that it was because, like, my parents wanted to get sober and they wanted to, like, get away from, like, their bad influences. But, like, they
Just
say,
found them.
yeah, they said that's not true. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Were your folks
opposing
married? Mm-hmm. How'd they meet?
They are both musicians. And my mom was playing in a band in San Francisco.
Oh, that's so cool.
And my dad was like living in San Francisco at the time, and then he was like friends with the other people in her band. So then he came out to watch her perform, and then like
they fell in love.
Yeah, they met there, and then my mom came to go see my dad perform in his band, and then she told all of her friends, she was like, "That's the man I'm gonna marry."
Shut up.
Yeah, so I say that about every person I meet, just in case, so we can have matching stories. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny. And so you grew up out there, and out in the snow, out in Massachusetts.
Ugh.
At what point did you move back to California?
After college.
Okay.
Yeah, I graduated college out there.
What did you go to college for? I mean, what were you studying?
I studied communications and business.
Hello.
Yeah.
Both are very generic degrees, but in my
most.
opinion, the smartest degrees you can get. You know, because like you don't quite know what they mean. Like
Exactly.
because everybody's technically in business.
Yeah.
Like this podcast, you're talking into a microphone right now on a podcast.
Yeah.
And technically, you could be like, "Well, this podcast is a business." Like I'm qualified to do. That's great. I think
You're a
that's
business owner.
Like at one point I thought about getting, because you can buy like fake degrees. Like you can just pay a couple $100 and just like.
Oh, I should have just done that.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, if I was gonna get a fake degree, what would I get it in? And I was like, I should get it in business because it covers everything.
I loved business, dude. I graduated with a 3.94 in business.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I loved business.
You're so smart.
Yeah, and I haven't applied any of that knowledge to everyday real life,
Sure.
but I liked it.
Yeah. Did you, like, when you were going to school, did you have like a vision? Like you're like, I'm gonna get this degree in business and then I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. Like what were you gonna?
I wanted to. I was like pretty sure I wanted to be a talent manager.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, to like, you know, like actors and,
Right.
and comedians and like musicians.
Right.
And then when I came out to LA and I started working for a talent management company and I hated it.
Really? You actually worked for a talent management company?
I did.
And then you were like, wait, I am the talent.
Exactly. One day I was like,
I'm funnier
no.
than all these assholes.
Exactly.
That's
And then
supposed to be working
yeah,
for.
I was working for like a big talent management company, and then I started working for like a smaller talent management company. And I was like, there's no way that I can do this for the rest of my life. I hate it.
Really?
I hated it.
Tell me about it. Because I don't fully understand what it is, because I just live in a backwater scene.
Actually, when I was working for really short little derailment here, when I was working for that talent manager, I was like, oh man, like I go out to these comedy shows on the weekends all the time, and there's never like really funny females on the lineups. And then she was like, why don't you just do it then?
That's so funny.
And I was like, I could never. And then like literally like probably like 6 months later, I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And that was the origin of your comedy career.
I don't even know. I don't know. Not really. I think she might have planted the seed though.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
As people are wont to do.
Were you growing up? Were you like a comedy nerd? Did you watch a lot of stand-up comedy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved comedy because it was like after I worked for that company, I started working for a different company, and it was just like sitting in my cubicle all day, and all I would do was just like listen to comedy on my headphones.
Oh yeah.
While I was like working away at like some job that I hated in my fucking cubicle.
Yeah.
And I was like, all I want to do is just like do like I would literally like listen to comedy all day, and then I would like go to like the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store like after work, and just like I didn't know anybody in LA.
Wow,
either. Like I didn't have any friends. I just liked going to see live comedy.
Yeah. And you were just like breathing this stuff, you were so steeped in everything that you were.
Oh, yeah, it was like the only thing that made me happy.
That's wild. Who were some of your influences? Like, who were you like? This is the person I really like.
Like who I listen to all the time.
Before you were doing comedy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's important. That's important because the people that I listened to after I'd been doing it for a while were like...
It changes, for
sure. Oh, it so changes. No, I loved Winnie Cummings and like Louis C.K. and like Nick Swartzen. I loved Nick Swartzen.
Yeah, Nick's really funny. Yeah, Winnie Cummings is super funny.
Yeah, she was. Amy Schumer, like all the people that I don't really listen to a lot of them anymore.
Before I was doing comedy, I was a big Tom Segura fan.
Yeah.
And then I met Tom Segura fans. I was like, I don't like these guys. And like,
I'm not one of these.
I still like kind of like Tom Segura, but like I hate his fans. I feel like his fans are like the new Patton Oswalt fans.
Yeah.
Like, where like they're super annoying and nerdy, and you're just like, fuck these guys. Like, and like I feel like Tom Segura's fans ruined Tom Segura for me. Like,
they can do that.
Yeah,
yeah. Sometimes fans they ruin. Yeah,
I can almost spot them. They're like when they're in the audience. Like if they're in the audience and they're not laughing at anything, and they think they're the funniest person in the room, I'm like, I bet you're a huge Tom Segura fan. They're like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, fucking no. Yeah,
you can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell a Tom Segura fan the way that you can spot a Joe Rogan fan.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
It's just like a dude like broing out in the corner, like vaping and talking about wrestling.
Yeah, I've been vaping, but I'm not. I mean, I like Joe Rogan. I mean, he's nice. He seems nice. I don't know. I've never met him in person.
I've definitely seen him around. I've never met him in person though. But I used to be obsessed with Nick Swartzen so much that like for my 16th birthday, I went to go see Nick Swartzen in Boston. Like we got a hotel in Boston, and I took my like two best friends with me. Like that was like my sweet 16, was just like seeing live comedy.
Yeah. That's funny.
And now I just like listen to Nick Swartzen now, and I'm like, what is this? It's so ridiculous.
My favorite Nick Swartzen bit he's ever done was when he's talking about how he likes. It's an old special. When he likes hanging out with his grandma. Yeah. He likes hanging out with his grandma because like he likes it because it's the closest he feels like to being a superhero. He's like, Grandma, let me help you out with that. Let me move this chair. Like lifts the chair above his head. She's like, oh my God. It's a great bit. He's so funny.
He has a bit about like a farting ghost.
It's already really funny.
It's like, what is that? Or the joke that's like, oh yeah, like I took my cat to the doctor, and the doctor was like, what have you been feeding? Because my cat had diarrhea, so I took it to the doctor. And the vet was like, what have you been feeding this cat? And I was like, diarrhea. It's like so stupid. I'm like, why is this what I loved? Like,
yeah.
and I loved like Dane Cook, obviously.
Sure, I feel like
then.
Dane Cook gives a lot of shit.
He was huge. He got people back into comedy.
I agree. Like, and in fairness to Joe Rogan, I feel like as much as like comedians like to like shit on Joe Rogan, like I think he's done more for comedy, stand-up comedy, than we're willing to like own up to and admit. Like, I know it's like the cool thing to not like Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like a lot of us kind of owe him. You know, like a bit, like his podcast has done a lot for getting people into like the idea of comedy.
Yeah.
And like a lot of, I mean, we have a lot of people out to our shows that are out to see live comedy because they listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you know, Joe talks a lot about live comedy and how cool it is. I think I'm going to go see what's happening in my local scene.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I mean?
awesome.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, and maybe you guys don't see that a lot in LA, but like in Fresno, like a lot of our audience are Joe Rogan fans that are like, I've listened to Joe. Joe's talked so much about stand up, and like I was like, I want to see what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of really dedicated fans that like come out to our shows because of what Joe Rogan says and does on his podcast.
Aww.
So it's like I mean, I get the hate and like some of the problematic nature of Joe Rogan, but at the same time too, it's like, well, he's kind of putting money in my pocket right now,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know, by getting people excited about comedy. So
Yeah. No,
Whatever.
there's no reason to shit on Joe Rogan.
yeah,
There's no reason to shit on anybody, really.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like he does have some problematic ideas about certain things, and like he does give certain people a platform that he probably shouldn't give, but like Alex Jones or whatever. But like that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
Yeah.
What is this podcast about? I forget it.
What are we doing again? I know what I'm doing. I'm drinking a bottle of wine.
Yeah, and I've got this cup of whiskey
I'm
here.
not even using a cup.
You're not using a cup.
I'm like, what are cups for?
You're like barefoot wine.
This bottle of wine was like $5, and I was like, that's
amazing.
good enough for me.
Yeah. That's so funny. So you're working at the talent agency, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm funnier than these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And I don't see a lot of like female representation.
Yeah.
You're like, I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's how everybody starts comedy. They go,
Sure.
I'm funnier than, and
I tell-
then you do it, and you're like, I'm not funnier
I tell
than
people,
so and so.
well, I tell people that a lot. Like when they're thinking about doing comedy, I'm just coming out to an open mic. You're gonna see a
Yeah.
bunch of people, and you're gonna be like, I'm funnier than that motherfucker. Like I
Yeah.
should be doing it. Like yeah. So did you like circle the drain a little bit? Like did you like? I mean, you were already going to shows, I guess. You were
Yeah.
already going to like the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So you saw a lot of that. You're like, I'm funnier than that guy. I should be able to do this.
I don't think that thought really crossed my mind.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really think that I was like, I'm funnier than them, so I'm gonna do it.
Uh-huh.
I think that part of me thought like, I think I can do that.
Uh-huh.
Like I think that I can do something like that. Like I like to make jokes with my friends all the time, and we get, when you get like that level of like hyper, where you're
Yeah.
just like riffing and it's just like working.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
love doing that. That's like my favorite thing to do in the world.
You-
so why shouldn't I?
You do
try
that
to-
very well. Like I mean, like in your set tonight, like you're willing to like sacrifice the bit for the sake of the laugh. Like I feel like
Right.
there's some comedians, sometimes they hold their material so sacred
I know.
that they're not willing to like make fun of their own joke when it doesn't land. Whereas you're like, that joke was dumb. None of you laughed at that. Like, how dumb was that joke? Am I right? Like, and you're willing to burn those sacred cows for the sake
Yeah.
of the show, and I think that's great. Like,
Yeah.
there's I have a hard time with that. Like, I have a hard
it's hard
time
to
like
let go.
make fun of yourself,
I
like
know.
when the joke doesn't land.
Yeah.
You're like, well, no,
Yeah.
just having an off night, I guess. But
Yeah.
you're like, fuck you.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't like
Well,
that
I'd
joke.
never even like done it before. It was just like my brain was like, say this thing right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
It was great. You were so funny. You had a great set.
It was fun. It was
Yeah. So tell me about
in
your.
it. I just talked about in it,
In it.
for like.
And then and you just riffed on being British, and you're like, why did I say that? It was so funny. It was great.
Well, I think that there's that part of like wait, is it your left brain or your right brain now? I guess your right brain is your left brain
side.
is the one that the logical run, right?
Maybe I don't know. You're way smarter than me, so I'm gonna take your word for everything you're saying right now.
I feel like it's your left brain. Is like telling you like, no, you have things that you need to, things that you needed to hit tonight and jokes that you're going to do that work.
Right.
Do those things, stick to the script. And then you have this like creative side of you that is like, no, I'm staying in the present moment because we're having fun in this present moment.
Yeah.
We'll get to where we need to get to.
Right.
But like we're all why not take what is the logical next thing in your brain versus... how like you like the way that you write is like it should be like a logical progression of thoughts and ideas, and then you're like, oh, like I would think of this to say next, knowing that it's following this thing.
Sometimes that's hard.
A completely separate bit.
As a performer, sometimes it's hard to like really kind of like trust that like reptilian like part of your brain, like that part that says like you should say this. I think a lot of times. Younger comics will push against that, but sometimes that is the logical, like that is the funniest thing to like go to. Sorry, I just dropped my headphone amplifier. And I like how you like embrace that tonight. Yeah, you were like, I'm doing this.
But
this
you know what? I think that part of you is the truest essence of you. When you're not trying to be something else.
Yeah.
You're not trying to think about. What would a comedian say? It's just like you're undeniably you in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah, your real mannerisms come out. It's like, and people like to just see people that are real.
Yeah,
just like real people.
I 100% agree because I host a lot and I have to like cold open shows a lot, and so I can't really like be that right at the top. Mm-hmm. But I always like at our shows. I did it tonight, and I do it almost every one of our shows. Where I'll be like, hey guys, like we'll finish the open mic, and then I'll go up at the end of the open mic because we have a different host at the open mic, and I'm like, give it up for your host, like tonight was Dana, like give it up for Dana for hosting that whole open mic. She was great. Can I do one bit for you guys? Like there's one bit I've been working on, and it's like a totally different energy. You know what I mean? Like you can like everything is so much more laid back, and I don't get a lot of opportunities to do that just because I have to cold open and I have to like it's all A material and I have to be Mr. Personality and I have to be super tight. Yeah. And like when you can be like, hey, any of you guys ever had like an existential breakdown in the middle of a Best Buy? Like, like you can just deliver like you can do the setup just like that. It's it's the best. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, no, that's like when you're flowing.
Yeah. What was your first open mic set like? You can totally hear Ashley coughing out there.
She's just hacking up a lung.
Yeah. Ashley Johnson, episode 38. He's been on the show before. If you recognize that cough, he's very funny. He's got a great episode of Sad Dad already. Yeah. Sorry. What was your first open mic set like?
No, I think you should plug other older episodes. You want to just stop listening to this one.
Yeah,
this is going to be garbage.
Hit the pause button and go back to Ashley Johnson's episode.
Go to a better one.
It's a really good episode. It's one of my favorites. This is fun too. I don't know. We haven't finished this episode yet. This might be a new favorite. We haven't gotten to the end yet.
We don't know yet. What was the question?
What was your first open mic set like?
Oh, okay. My first open mic.
How'd it go? Tell me.
I still remember some of the jokes in my first ever set. Yeah, I still remember that. It was like pretty funny. I mean, it was like there was a lot of hacky stuff, but it was like pretty funny.
Yeah. You're like, dating's hard. Dating
in LA, am I right?
Yeah. Tinder, right?
Men are from Mars, women be shopping. Am I right? I'm just like, what? No, I remember my first ever set. I wrote out everything, and then I went to this like little cafe in Culver City, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. I like called my dad before, and I was like, hey dad, I was like, I'm gonna try stand-up comedy. And then he was like, all right. And then we hung up, and then I was like, I'm going to this right now, because I had no friends. Like, I was living in LA for I don't even know how long, and I had 0 friends.
Yeah.
So I went in and I I did the set, and it was like a feedback mic. I don't think I've ever been to a feedback mic before, because I don't think I've been to one since.
No, I've never even would tell me. I don't even know what that is.
It's like when you do your set and then you stand up there, like you stay up there, and then the different people that run it give you their notes on it.
Oh jeez,
And
fuck that.
I know.
That sounds fucking terrible.
And they give you feedback on the jokes and what they think you should try to do. And then anybody else that's just at the open mic can raise their hand and give you more feedback or whatever.
Oh Jesus.
So it's actually kind of cool. I mean, I feel like I want to go to one now.
Oh yeah, I mean now that you've actually got comedy chops and you're
Yeah, but I went there, and then I remember the guy working it or whatever. He was like, how long have you been doing this? And I was like, oh, this?
Oh, this thing?
This?
Yeah.
6 months. I just lied. I literally just lied through my... Oh, excuse me.
You're fine.
It's the Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, we're both a little bit drunk. Yeah, it's fine. You're doing great.
I just lied about how long I'm doing, which at this point, and now I regret that. I wish, because you only get to do it for your first time once.
Yeah, right. You could be
know?
like, this is my first time ever doing stand-up comedy.
I know, and I was like, 6 months, and he was like, I would have. I think maybe I said 3 months or something.
Sure.
Because I remember him going, I felt like at least a year. Is what he said, and it was my first time ever.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, so cool. God. Which literally 3 months, 6 months, a year, it's all the same.
Sure.
It's just gonna be garbage.
Yeah, nobody really cares until you get to 4 years. Yeah.
This is not gonna be good, but whatever. But I had a lot of fun, and I remember I called my dad afterwards, and I was like, Dad, I loved it. I had so much fun. I think this is what I want to do now. There's no doubt in my mind. Not once did I think maybe I should do something that I can make money at. And I was like, no, this is the thing. I already know the thing. And my dad was like, that's great. And I was like, yeah, I definitely know that this is the thing. I like this way more than talent management. I'm never going back there.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. No, that really would. I mean... just about.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do anything else.
Oh, that's great. And so you were kind of hooked from the very get-go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, I'm going back tomorrow. I'm going to figure it out. Because I remember, I Googled, how to be a comedian.
Yeah.
I remember that was the thing.
So
I was
funny.
like, how do you do this?
How do you even comedy?
How do you do comedy?
Oh, man. So you're Kelsey Lane.
That's me.
Yeah. And this is a podcast where we talk about dads.
Oh, quite cool.
And you have a dad.
I do.
And you mentioned him a couple times now. Mm-hmm. And I always like to talk about dads. I always like to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Where did your dad grow up?
My dad grew up in Campbell, California.
Oh, I don't even know where that is.
It's near San Jose.
I lived in California my whole life, and I don't even know where Campbell, California is. It's near San Jose.
I just know that. I know it's near San Jose.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So he grows up in Campbell.
Yeah.
What kind of town is Campbell? Is it like a
It's just a shame that you don't know about them, because they know about you. Campbell was telling me all about you.
Fuck, they were asking about me. They're like, we love this guy.
Yeah, they're like, dude, do you know Dave? And I was like, yeah, man. I just met him. And they're like, oh, wow. Tell him we say what's up. And I was like, I will. It's gonna be a really tough thing, knowing that they know you.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck about Campbell, California.
Oh, that sucks.
That's rough, man.
That is rough. Okay.
But I'll tell him. I'll text him back right now.
The entire town.
He doesn't give.
Hey, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Flying?
No,
it's gonna
not
be
flying.
Fuck,
it's
for sure.
Be like, hey, Campbell.
Oh no, it's sent already. Yep. No.
You're the worst guest I've ever had.
You're gonna have to make that up. So You're gonna have to text them.
I'll
give you the digits.
I'm gonna have to make peace with the entire town of Campbell, California.
Campbell, if you're listening right now, apologize to them.
There's probably like one guy who's like, "Oh my God, thank you."
He's been donating to your Patreon page. He's been liking all of your tweets. He's the only one that retweets you.
Oh, it's probably true. I only have like 2 or 3 guys that do that.
I think you need to. Can you write a sincere apology to
Campbell, California? What kind of a town is that? Do you know anything about Campbell, California?
I know literally nothing about it. I know that's where my dad grew up.
Okay.
Right near San Jose.
What kind of person was he? I mean, what kind of kid was your dad? Was he like a real outgoing kid? Was he like, did he play a lot of sports?
He didn't play any sports.
But he was really into music.
He's super into music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes the Beatles, and he got himself a guitar and an amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a shy kid, but he loved playing music. Like, he started playing music like from a really young age.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that? I mean, were his parents musicians or
no? The parents, he was adopted, but the people that adopted him, they were like from Missouri, but they were like really cool and like non-judgmental. I mean, if you adopt a kid, like, you're gonna automatically be good parents because
you kind of have to be open to yeah, right.
So I think they were pretty awesome.
Was he like adopted into a big family? I mean, did he have a lot of brothers and sisters?
No, he was an only child until he was 18, and then they adopted his sister.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was like grown. I mean, that was their baby.
So he was a rock star, like in and out of the house, like his parents. I mean, your grandma and grandpa, were they like really supportive of everything he was doing, or I mean?
Yeah, my dad. He told me a story about how he used to have like this van that like him and his friends would like, like play gigs in. So they would like pack up their equipment in it and just like smoke a fuck ton of weed. Yeah. And then my grandpa used to like clean the van for them, and he would save all the roaches. He would save all the roaches. And be like, here you go.
Your grandpa was cool as shit.
Right?
Or is cool as shit.
Right? Oh no, he is super dead. But he was very supportive. Like,
that's right.
He wasn't like, don't smoke this devil's lettuce. He was like, there you go.
Yeah.
Smoke up, Johnny.
That's so funny. Yeah. Oh, that's great. So your dad is sort of like growing up in Northern California. Yeah. He's playing, what does he play? Guitar? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's fucking like playing guitar.
Yeah.
Him and his buddies are just tearing it up.
Yeah, just like crushing puss.
Just crushing puss. You may or may not have more.
Crushing puss.
I'm a little bit drunk too. Why are you making fun of me? No. You can't make fun of me on my own podcast.
No,
that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And so
have fun editing.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be a nightmare. In fairness to you, I made a really off-color joke about gypsies on my last episode. I think I have to edit out some of the things I said about gypsies because there were these really loud gypsies that like were in our show on Saturday night, and like I went into this podcast recording with my friend Tom. And I said a lot of mean things about gypsies. You know what, though? They have their own Fleetwood Mac song. So I feel at the end of the day, like, you can't be and the worst part is I don't even think you can call them gypsies anymore. I think you're supposed to call them Roma. And, like, I'm just like, even in this episode, I'm just dropping the equivalent of the N-bomb on the Roma now. And I don't even know. I thought that gypsies were. I thought they were just like nomadic people. Yeah. I feel like such a dumb American right now. Like, right? That's just like what it was like. Wasn't it just like a rude terminology for like people that were nomadic? Yeah. I mean, like they were like an ethnicity without a state. They're kind of like the Basque. I don't know if you know what Basque people are, but like Basque people. Basque, yeah. They. Oh, I thought you said Basque people. I was just picturing very large fishmen. Yeah. You're making okay. Just Billy the Big Mouth. Yeah, we talked about Billy the Businessman.
people.
Yeah.
You know, Basque people.
Basque people.
Oh no, I don't.
Basque people and like Hmong people are the same way too. Like Hmong people are like the Basque of the Asian world. We're so off the rails right now.
Okay, yeah. What were we talking about?
I think we were talking about how your dad was crushing puss.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, my dad's just up there crushing poon.
All over
I
Northern
think, I don't
California. And so yeah. Like so, yeah. Your dad's doing that. He's playing guitar. Is he? Like,
Yeah.
He's is he in a band or is he in several bands or what's he doing?
Yeah. So this is like what, high school?
Yeah, like high school,
yeah.
going into college, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't go to college, but yeah. I mean, I think he took maybe he took a couple years at like a computer college or something.
Oh sure.
But yeah, man, he was in a band, and yeah, then he moved down to LA.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing like the jazz band circuit thing. He was playing with like Gabor Szabo,
That's cool.
and then he said like a couple people in his band joined Santana, and then he just like
Whoa.
quit. He just like moved back.
Like fucking yeah.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
way
like,
better guitar player than Santana.
yeah, he was like, get out of here.
He's that guy's like way overrated.
Well, he would tell me about how like Santana used to like call him up on the phone, and he was just like, oh, whatever, fuck you guys. Like,
yeah. That's so funny.
so I don't know. I think that he didn't join that band, and then he moved. He moved back to, I think, San Jose or Marin County, and then he started hanging with like the Grateful Dead guys, and
Really?
yeah, and then like one of like their friends, he like joined a band with him.
Yeah.
And he got like signed to Capitol Records. Their band did pretty well, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then he moved up to San Francisco, and that's where he met my mom. And then they were like, let's have babies and stay together and whatever.
I was gonna say like when was the point where you
and then he was
meet
like,
your
I'm gonna
mom?
put a baby in you.
Like he sees your mom like on stage.
Yeah.
What is your mom playing at the time that your dad sees him? Like,
She was just a singer.
She was a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, that's the girl of my dreams.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I love you.
I love you. Yeah. That's what he said to her. It's amazing. And so like
I think they boned on the first date.
Really?
I think they didn't want to tell me that they did. But then
Yeah.
like my dad was like, oh yeah, I left my jacket at her apartment.
That's
and I was
so
like,
funny.
why did you leave your jacket there, Dad?
Yeah, how'd your jacket get it?
And then
her
she was like,
apartment?
stop it. Stop. And I was like, oh my God, did you guys bone on the first date?
That's great. And so
think
your
I'm
parents meet, and they're in San Francisco, and then what happens? How soon until they get married? Is it right away? Or?
I think it was like 10 years. And then they moved.
Really?
Yeah, they moved.
dated for 10 years?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, then they moved to like down to LA together, and like they were both in different bands for a while.
Yeah.
And they were doing like top 40 stuff. They were in a band together, and they were doing
my
like top
God.
40 stuff.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And she's
mom-
singing, he's playing guitar.
Yeah.
There's this weird sexual energy between the singer and the guitar player.
Yeah, which is like weird for everyone else, but they have like
Right.
weird boners still.
Yeah. That's cute. I mean, are they still together? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Oh, they like each other?
I think they've had their fair share of arguments
That's real.
and times where they didn't think they were gonna
Yeah.
stay together.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't know. Like, my dad came and stayed with me for a little while, like not too long ago. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was like a year ago, and they were like gonna split up.
Ooh.
And he was just staying with me, and we were looking at apartments together. I was gonna live with my dad
Wow.
in LA,
And I mean,
then he
This
then
is
he
you
moved.
at 20. When you're 27. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 27.
And you're like looking at apartments with your dad. You're
I
like,
know.
oh.
Well, it's like whatever. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So
I mean, do you feel like you were old enough to like kind of like let that bounce off of you, or like was it still hard for you?
no, I mean I think it was fine because it's like they've had like a sort of tumultuous. That was not a word.
That was good. It was close enough. I know what you meant.
Relationship.
Yeah. Sure.
They've had
I mean,
a rocky relationship.
yeah. I mean, so they're kind of
And,
like hot and cold on each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. type of- yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's like healthy. That
Did you see a lot of that growing up?
Oh yeah.
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 They fought like the Dickens.
Really? You feel
Yeah.
like that had an effect on you? Like and how you approach relationships?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Definitely. But yeah, I mean, they've just been like on and off, like doing drugs. They were really heavy into drugs and boozing and stuff.
Yeah, you were kind of telling me a little about that a lot.
For a really long
last
time.
night.
So
Yeah.
I think like, I think they got clean together and then they used together and then, it was like,
Yeah.
my dad was very much like, I don't like to party alone, so
Right.
I think they both sort of
Was it one of those
fed off
things
each
where
other.
like they were like, we're gonna get clean and it's gonna solve all our problems?
Exactly.
And then they got clean and they're like, oh, we still have lots of problems.
Yeah.
Was it like that?
Exactly, but they're always in rehabs in different times though. That was the weird
Interesting.
thing.
Okay.
Like my dad made it sound like whatever I was doing, she was doing, but would both go into rehabs at different times.
So they were really like, what kind of drugs were they doing?
Oh, everything. I mean, my dad took me through. I called my dad before this, and we talked for a while. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, is it cool if I talk about all you're drugging? Is that cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, that's fine. Originally when I was in high school, we just did a lot of. He just dove right in. He just took me through the whole path of all of the drugs he had ever done. And he talked about how, like, at first he was just doing like, what was it? It was like acid, mescaline. It was
wow.
I think it was something
Yeah.
I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
Methadone? No, that's not meth.
Not meth. I mean, there's mescaline.
Yeah,
I don't know what
I'd never
mescaline
heard
is.
of it. He was
Yeah.
like, it's like acid, but it's like natural. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he was like mushrooms and weed, and then we moved on to like speed, and then cocaine, and then we just started like snorting heroin, and
wow.
they did that for like a while.
Yeah.
And then they had to like get clean of that. So I don't know.
Wow.
And then whenever he would like have to like go with like a surgery or something, like he broke his arm, and then he was like, oh, these pills are kind of like what we used to do.
Yeah.
This is pretty dope.
Yeah.
So they would just do pills for a
And
while.
then
But
you gotta like kick that habit. And,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, That's exactly it.
And then
He
your
was like, "It's
mom,
hard to do
and then
that."
your mom was kind of like taking her own separate journey through the drug thing.
Yeah.
Was he sort of just kind of like dealing in his like drug afterglow, or did she have like a drug addiction of her own? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and her own stuff.
Sure.
Her own like pills and drugs and
Right.
all of that stuff. But I mean, they just like to party,
Yeah.
Musicians, man.
And they date for 10 years.
Yeah.
Before they get married.
Yeah.
And is it at that point they have your older sister, or do they? Really? Good for them.
Yeah.
What was did they, has your dad ever talked about that? Like, what was the point for them that you were like, it's been 10 years. We should get married. We should start a family. Did they ever talk about that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think my dad never wanted to get married to like anyone ever. And then I think like after a while, it was just like, well, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Like,
sure.
I've been with this bitch for 10 years. I think she deserves it at this point. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but
No,
I know
you're
that
framing it
they both,
wrong.
Yeah,
I've been with her for 10 years. I think it's time her and I got married.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to just like kind of settle down at that point.
That's real.
Yeah.
He's in his like 30s at this point. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah. My mom had me in her 30s, so yeah.
Okay. So they get married. They have your sister. And then they have you. How much older is your sister?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have your sister right away? Like right after they get married?
I think it was a little bit.
Wait a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. They kind of
Yeah.
enjoyed the like early married life.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, I think they were like, yeah, let's lean into this thing.
Are they still doing music at this point? Or are they like, do they get like
Yeah.
real jobs? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd think no, they did. They had like real jobs like during the entire time that I was growing up.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, they didn't play music for a really long time.
What are
Which
they
I
doing?
think is like why I think my dad said like he did a lot of drugs because he wasn't playing music, and that was like his real love.
Oh, interesting.
So me growing up, it was like, oh well, you're, you know, I'm staying. I'm doing this day job thing that I hate for you.
Yeah.
And like,
What kind of work was he doing?
he was doing like he worked at like he was like a manager at AT&T for
Oh,
a
okay.
while. He was like
Yeah.
selling phones and stuff, and then like
Sure.
doing that. But I think that they hated it. I think they
Sure.
like hated their lives.
I don't blame him for that.
yeah, right. They're like 3,000 miles away from all of their family and friends. They
Right.
like
Working for Jenny Craig.
yeah,
and
yeah,
AT&T.
yeah, exactly. Things that they don't really want to be doing when
Yeah.
really they just like were musicians for years.
Right.
Which it just like is a lesson to me where I'm like, yeah, I just want to do comedy. So why would I ever
Yeah.
settle down and like have children? Like, what am I gonna do? Hate my life for 18
Right.
years? Like that sounds awful. Like,
That's great. And so, like, you're kind of growing up in this weird pseudo creative household. Mm-hmm. And but you're a musician.
yeah, I mean, I definitely. My parents never taught me to play music or like how to sing or anything, but I definitely just like, since I had the instruments around, I just started like I just picked up a guitar one day and I taught myself how to play it. And,
Yeah.
you know, taught myself how to play the piano and,
That's great.
and the drums, and I was like, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I really liked
Yeah.
I liked music a lot,
Yeah.
but my parents were like hypercritical off of like anything that I had done.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your relationship like with your dad?
We were friends.
Uh-huh.
We were like pretty good friends. My sister had a lot of like sort of like mental issues that she was dealing with, like behavioral issues.
Yeah.
So I think like my parents had a really hard time raising her, and she needed a lot of attention.
Uh-huh.
So it would usually be like my mom was sort of like, you know, like the captain of trying to, you know, give my sister the attention that she needed.
Yeah.
And then I think that there were, you know, and my dad was definitely just like, you know, a passenger on that ship as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like the times that they were like, we've ignored Kelsey for, I think 3 years. I think she's been raising herself and feeding herself. Maybe we should remember we have another daughter.
Yeah.
And so it would be like those times that like my dad would like take me to the movies and stuff.
That's nice.
You know, like, yeah, we would like go to like Blockbuster and like rent a movie and like come
Yeah.
home and watch it when like my mom and my sister were like, I don't know, like in a group therapy session. I don't know. Like they were like,
yeah.
dude, they would like deal with things, and my dad and I would just sort of like chill. You know.
Do you feel like you were a little closer with your dad than you were with your mom? Like, you know, because I know like a lot of times siblings will almost like pair off with a parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel
Yeah.
like your dad was your parent and
Yeah.
and your mom was your sister's parent? Like,
Yeah, I that's sort of the
Yeah.
I think I was definitely closer to my dad on like a friendship level. Like we were like buddies,
Right.
but my mom felt like more of like a parent.
Yeah.
Like she was always like the one that would like say no to everything.
Yeah.
Like I remember like in high school, I like I was a senior in high school and I had a party. I had like a New Year's party. Oh my god, I'm burping.
You're
but
doing great. You're so funny.
we had a bunch of like, I had a bunch of my friends in the basement, and then we like had a party, and we were just like getting shit housed, and we were like, I don't know, like 17, 18. How old were you in high school? Yeah, like seniors, and like I went upstairs to throw up, and I was like in the bathroom, and my mom came in. Like my parents were home, and I was having a party. Like I don't know why they let me do that,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
came in, and I was like throwing up in the toilet, and my mom walked in, and I was like, oh, excuse me, and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I dropped something and I was picking it up. She was like, there's vomit in the toilet. You're a liar. I was like, oh no. I felt I'm caught. And she was like, okay, well, you're grounded and we'll talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, sounds good. Went back downstairs, kept partying. And like the next morning, my dad saw me and he was like, you're gonna be grounded. And I was like, can I go get breakfast with my friends? And he was like, you better get out of the house before your mom wakes up. Go now. Go to
right this
breakfast.
second.
You're gonna come back, you're gonna be grounded.
You're gonna have
All
a
right.
bunch of shit to deal with when you get back.
So that's exactly like what it was with my dad. Like
That's
he
so
would be
funny.
like low key, like, yeah, go get breakfast,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when
yeah.
you come back, you're gonna be super grounded.
When you made that phone call then? Like, was he into you doing comedy? Like, was he into the idea of it?
I think so.
What did you think of all this
I
nonsense?
think he just wants me to like do the thing that's gonna make me happy.
Sure.
So I think he was disappointed that I chose something that's gonna be so hard. Like
Yeah.
the entertainment industry is so
Yeah.
such like a hard
Yeah.
thing filled with like a lot of rejection.
Right.
But so I think he was like a little bit concerned. Like he was like, oh man, like you're gonna do that.
It's gonna be tough.
Like,
yeah.
all right, you know, you're one of us, you know,
Right,
like
right.
that's the life you chose. But I don't know. At the same time, I mean,
Yeah.
he would never like stop me. I think
Sure.
there are still times when my dad's like, I think that you should be a lawyer. I think there's still time.
Yeah.
You can do this. Like, I think you should do that. I'm like, I think you should not do heroin, but we all have different opinions on what
He
you
doesn't
should
still do heroin, does he?
No, I mean, no.
Yeah.
I think like when he's going to meetings and like staying consistent with like, you know, like his sobriety plan, he's
Yeah.
like he's staying sober.
Sure.
But there are other times that he's just like fallen off the wagon completely.
You also said your dad had a pretty sweet mustache.
That's a dad thing.
Yeah.
You have a dad mustache.
Yes, I do. It's the best. Oh man. Okay. Wait. Okay. So
We talked about how when you get a woman pregnant, you just grow a mustache. And you're like, oh my god.
I for sure
You're
did
pregnant,
not
I think.
have this mustache before I was a dad. So I think there might be something to that. It just happened.
When you're a good dad, you just like have a mustache. It's not even on purpose.
This is the part of the show where I ask for a dadictote. Mm-hmm. Do you have like any particular moment or story or that like really sticks out to you from childhood or growing up or whatever?
There were a couple, and I'm trying to figure out which story I should tell.
I mean, you tell both. We have time. These
Okay.
people are into you at this point. It's fine.
Oh, hey people.
Hey, people.
They're feeling me right
You
now.
have like Tinder or like,
I don't have a Tinder, but you can follow me on Instagram. It's the closest thing I have. I don't do dating apps. It's weird, but
yeah, that's real.
All right. Okay, first story. My dad used to do this thing when I was like in middle school. You know, like the time that you're like really like embarrassed by your parent.
Sure. Yeah.
You're gonna get there with your daughter.
Oh,
she's
sure.
she's gonna get uber embarrassed of you as a human. Everything you do is embarrassing to her because she's like 13.
Yeah.
And I remember like my dad, he would do this thing all the time, or anytime I would be embarrassed, he would like heighten that embarrassment. And I remember one time like we went to the movies, and I think he might have been like a little bit tipsy, and we went to the movies, and he was doing an impression of somebody that with special needs.
Okay.
And I think the only thing worse than an impression of someone with special needs is like a bad impression of someone with special needs. So he was like people were like shushing him, like, shh, be quiet, and we were like just like in line for popcorn. Like he was already being shushed.
Yeah.
And he was just like running around, and he was like, Kelsey, blah blah.
Jesus.
And I felt like we had watched I Am Sam together. That was our favorite movie. I don't even I felt the embarrassment of, and I was like, oh my God, like I love you, but like please stop doing what you're doing.
It's so funny.
He would do that all the time. If you picked me up, like from the mall with my friends. He would come inside and just do this thing.
No.
Yeah, it was awful.
Dad.
It was awful. But he was having so much fun with it. Where it was like, you keep doing you stop
Different
forever.
time. Yeah.
Never do that. Because even now, I'm like, why would you ever do that? Like, you weirdo.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he would just tongue out, just, like a limp leg, just like behind him. Like, I don't know. It was.
Yeah.
He was kind of like. Oh my god, I'm really trying not to say bad words, but like like the hyena in the Lion King, like the one that's kind of a little off.
Yeah, right.
It was very much like that, but like a human man.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was
that
bad.
was your dad.
Yeah, that was him.
It's great.
And the other story I'm gonna say.
Yeah, do it.
I'm gonna tell.
I think people are invested at this point. Let's hear it. I hear it.
One time. So he was, he loved boozing and stuff like that. He liked to party. And one time he was like, I think he was messed up on something. And he sometimes he would get like violent or whatever. And one time he left like rolling papers like in my room when I was a kid, like for like, like joints and stuff like that.
Yeah. What is this?
And he left them he like hid them in my room. I don't know why, but I took him out and I was like, what is this? So I started like, I thought it was like tracing paper.
Just tiny tracing paper.
I just started tracing tiny things on them with like pencils and like coloring on them.
Yeah. Suddenly all your dad's paper, your rolling paper has like Hello Kitty on it.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
I, at this point, I'm on my last one. And it was like, that's it. That's the end of the tracing paper.
Yeah.
So this is my last one. And there's just like, they're just like they're laying out everywhere. Just like colored pencils and shit on them. Like happy turds. Like just whatever. Dogs and stuff just written all over them. My dad walked in and he was like, what the fuck are you doing? He started just like flipping out.
Yeah.
He started just like wailing on me. And I'm just like, why? Like, I remember he just like left, he really put the, he was like, this is what you get, bitch. And then he walked away.
Jeez.
And I just remember like yelling, like, why? What did I do? Like, I still didn't understand.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, I was like, I ruined his high. That's what I did. Like,
you did.
He was gonna come home from work, get stony baloneyed, and then go to bed. And I took that from him.
Yeah, and I have all these dumb pictures on your zigzags, and
He was bad.
That's funny.
He probably had to go out and get more rolling papers. It was probably too late at that point.
Oh
But
man,
it's funny. It's like it's like dark and like sad, but it's also kind of funny.
it is really funny. Yeah. You're not wrong. If you weren't laughing right now, it wouldn't be funny. You're like, my dad beat me because I traced on his rolling paper.
Like anytime I would like get in trouble, like real trouble with him, it would always be like something super dumb.
Sure.
So like it just taught me like the weirdest lessons about life. Like, all right, don't ever trace anything ever again. I don't like drawing to this day.
That's the problem.
Like,
no. Well, you have been Kelsey Lane. You've been great.
I will continue to be.
Keep doing that. You're doing great at being Kelsey Lane. If people want more Kelsey Lane in their life, where can they find you?
You can just come over. Just come over to my apartment in the living room that I live in. No, you can follow me on social media. You can like follow me on Instagram because I like Instagram a lot. I think I use that one the most. I'm at I am Kelsey Lane on Instagram, and then on Twitter, I think I'm no.
You gotta check.
I don't even know.
You don't know what your Twitter handle is?
It used to be Kelsey Lane Comedy, but yeah, at it's Kelsey Lane. That's what I'm at Twitter. I barely tweet.
I try to keep up appearances on Twitter. But
I know, you gotta.
Yeah, I just usually post silly jokes on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Well, cool. Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for shaking my hand.
We had to shake hands. This is the end of the business transaction.
Oh, you're so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're back. Kelsey Lane, everybody. She's great, right? There was one part, I didn't do much editing on this. I know we kind of like joked in the episode about how, we're going to edit this out. I edited very little. There was one I got really rambly at one point, and it didn't really it didn't do anything. It was just Kelsey just kind of like looking at me as I stumble over some words trying to make some dumb point that didn't really matter. So I edited that out. More for you guys. That's been it, guys. If you like the show, you can rate and review on iTunes. You can send me your dadecdotes if you want me to read your dadecdote. It's saddadpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show financially, we have there's a Patreon. You can like it on Facebook. I haven't really been giving the Sad Dad Facebook page a lot of love lately. I'll get back on that. I'm sorry. I made it, and then I didn't do anything with it. So I will catch you next week. Got a really fun interview with a very funny man named Javon Whitlock. He was up doing shows this week, and he and I sat down and we talked dads. So that's been it. Adios.